And I will go ahead and introduce our first player in the top right this time, not the bottom right, but representing Team Knights Gaming, it is the green Protoss player, Sjaak. And in the bottom left, we have.
In the bottom left, it is none other than Jonah representing Lowland Lions, and he is, of course, I must say the manliest color, the pink Zerg. And this is a map, we talked a bit about maps, and I do not know how this map plays out specifically for the styles we've seen previously. I would imagine that it's going to twist a couple of things around, because of course Stargate is going to be a bit more useful, but the things or the pros here Sjaak is struggling with most, which I would call taking a third, is very, very hard on this map, I would say.
Yeah, and he looked the most comfortable defending the 3 bases on Akalon. That was like, he's not had the best series so far. I don't really want to sugarcoat that, but that was when he looked at his best, defending multiple spots, trying to turtle on 3 bases. This map, it's ridiculously hard to pull the same thing off. Akalon's like the best map for it. This might be one of the worst maps in the current Heart of the Swarm, like, kind of overall map pool to actually turtle on 3 bases on his Protoss. I would not be surprised to see some sort of just 2-base timing here.
Yeah, we've seen that being attempted before. Didn't work out far too much, but perhaps we're gonna see Sjaak spice it up a bit and go for a completely new composition. I think he has opened Stargate every single game, at least the games he was allowed to dwell that deep into, the game, because last time he lost quite early on. But I do believe he's opened Stargate every single time, and not only is that predictable, it's not a very good 2-base all-in-ish type of tech, basically.
No, I mean, I would like to see a more typical sort of push, like Immortal Sentry. I mean, it's fallen a bit out of favor, obviously, since the change over to HOTS. It's a little easier to deal with. It's been a bit more figured out, but it's still a good attack. If you can catch a greedy player off guard with it and take out that 3rd base reserve, it can still work out very, very well if you grab that out. So, but, I mean, he's not going for its fast expand, so it's not as easy to kind of segue right into that build. So I'm very curious what sort of all-in he can pull off, if he wants to, off of a gateway expand like he's probably going to go for once again.
Yeah, and well, he does. I mean, I don't really know what the alternative to a gateway expand at this point could possibly be. Perhaps Forget or something like that, but
yeah,
we're most likely having a gateway expand, and there he does cancel the Zealot to get the early Nexus out, which is usually what we see nowadays. This time maybe he will be encouraged to scout, though, because his opponent is 1 game or 1 map away from win, and that basically means, you are sort of free to take risks when you are 1 game away from win, but your opponent is not. So maybe we could see another cheese, and actually, as I said, talk about that, we do see the probe running across the map at what I think was an earlier timing that before. I'm not entirely certain, though.
Well, it's certainly earlier timing than in game number 1, where he just, didn't really scout at all, to be perfectly honest. But Queen going to go ahead and take some shots at this probe, but he will get into the main base and see what is up. He'll see no gas, very likely. Or, no, never mind, he actually does not get past. The high ground vision from the drones actually conveniently helped out that Queen there, so got kind of a nice little convenient timing with that drone transfer. So the drone won't see those gases, so he's not 100% sure what's coming right now.
Yeah, the 1, or actually 2, but now only 1 any longer, links from Jonah actually managed to scout absolutely everything, and forces that little. Oh well, it's not gonna kill the probe, is he? Well, he could escape, but that Ling is one scout greedy Ling, I must say. He doesn't see far too much. He doesn't see the robotics facility, which is put down this early, and that could be pointing a bit towards what you were saying earlier. However, we're not having the 2nd gas, which leads me to suspect that we might see the whole, and very potent, I should say, all-in with War Prism double Immortal and lots of Zealots of 8 gateways, I believe. That might be what we're having in front of us today, and we're having the really early Forge as well, so
yeah. Maybe,
actually.
Yeah, I'd like to see him take advantage of maybe a +1 timing here and try to get something done, but we'll have to see some more gateways being dropped down here pretty soon if that's going to come to fruition. But at the same time, 2 gases already done for Jonah, so going for, looks like double upgrades. Guy has 2 evolution chambers above his natural, so go for a double upgrade style, and we're not really sure what units quite yet. Haven't seen a Roach Warren. Oh, there it is, just as I speak. So I'm guessing going to go for maybe that Roach Hydra like you were talking about with 2 upgrades, or like whatever upgrades he gets. Double upgrades is what I meant. There we go. I got to it finally. But yeah, the missile upgrades are on the way.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised about that. I was expecting the basically double upgrade links coming out, especially since we're 2 bases. We're having, we're having this type of play being very, very common nowadays in ZVP. He does actually produce quite a lot of links, so this might be some very aggressive type of play, because with this sort of roach variant coming down, I would actually expect a third, but he's not really looking into that right now. And meanwhile, what is the War Prism doing? Is he scouting with it?
Looks like it. I mean, he's pretending it's hallucinated. He's scouting in such a pattern. It's just like, that has to be hallucinated. So, mind games maybe from Sjaak. But we actually did see the there was an Overlord that did float into the base of Sjaak and saw the chrono boosting robotics facility and no robotics bay. Really, would be a bit too early for that. So he's probably expecting some Immortals coming out here pretty soon. 5 gateways on the way. Is he going to add on any more? Probably not, but it's looking pretty Immortal Sentry-esque here, unless he does go for maybe just like a really safe expand. But that's a fair bit of production being added on.
Yeah, with the additional gateways down and with the only one gas geyser, I'm pretty sure he's going to go for the whole War Prism Zealot Immortal all-in. But I'm really concerned right now, because I do not understand. I mean, I understand he got the scout at the third, but he could have done that with the probe he has there right now. So I'm really confused why he decided to go for this build. Not go for the build, but why he decided to go for the build and reveal his War Prism. That is how I'm really doubting his type of play right there, his decision making. And he's attacking out right now, so it is a 2-base all-in as we sort of predicted. But the Zerg force has been accumulated through quite a lot of time right now, so I think it will be defended with ease.
Yeah, if those Zerglings can get on top of those Immortals, the Immortals can be pretty well microed using that War Prism, and they will chew apart these roaches pretty well, but already pre-spreading, try and get that flank built in. There's really no sentries here or anything to really help protect the Immortals any more than just with Zealots. Time Warp will go down, that will help out in delaying this flank a bit, but here do come the Lings and the Roaches moving in. The Immortals right now not being targeted really at all, and they're doing a fair bit of damage, but here comes another swell of Roaches, and most of the Zealot buffer is gone at this point in time. There's a couple more being warped in as well, though. The Mothership Core doing the best it can, too, but more Zealots being warped in. But with these, yeah, this is just going to be pushed back, and, well, Sjaak invested a lot into this attack, and it really didn't pan out. He saves both Immortals, which is nice, but you really wanted to do more damage with that. But at the same time, no third base for Zerg quite yet. Probably will be taking one maybe pretty soon here, but not 100% sure on that. It is adding on 2 more gases, so we'll have to see what he has decided to transition into here.
Yeah, I'm not.
He probably should make a base.
Yeah, he definitely should. I have absolutely no clue what we're going to see here from Sjaak. I mean, the follow-up to this is sort of futile. I mean, you did an all-in, it didn't really work out. What can you sort of do behind this? You gotta play greedy in some way, right? You gotta either follow it up with a desperation move all in, or just try to expand like a maniac. And just to touch slightly on the subject, what we saw there during the fight, we had +1 armor finish, and +1 missiles as well, finished from Jonah, and he decided to go for the very early upgrades with the gas he had accumulated, and that helped him so immensely in that fight, because the Zealots 3-shotted those links instead of 2-shot, and that buffer just was very, very crucial. And actually, seemingly at this point, are we having the quite a lot of Immortal with some Sentry follow-up?
Yeah, it's looking like it. I mean, he's basically just adding sentries to the composition, just expanding it just a little bit, and the sentries will help out quite a bit here as far as zoning out those units, trying to keep basically the Lings kind of running into a channel, keep the Roaches back out of roach range, but within Immortal range, and that should be allow him to engage a bit more cost effectively. But it looks like it should be another follow-up all in here. He's gonna the wall off at home with another gateway to make sure he's safe from counterattacks. And yeah, he's going for another big attack here. And well, if this doesn't work out, I would not be surprised if he actually just calls GG after this attack doesn't work, if it does not pan out.
Yeah, I have a hard time imagining the contrary, to be honest. We have the War Prism here with Ozzel's probably going to do some multi-prong attack right here, and it's actually considering it's 2 base versus 2 base, right? I mean, this third has just been established. It's probably going to finish and maybe even get denied depending on where the Zerg army is positioned. But all in all, it feels like just in terms of trading, it has gone better for Zerg most of the game. So, and wow, that's actually a very neatly prepared concave right there, and it's actually going to be scouted. So let's see how careful the pros will be.
And force field's pretty good start, keeping a lot of those Roaches back and out of it, and a lot being force fielded in with the Zealots. But a lot of the Zealots being chewed up. Force field, a bit of a hole there. We'll let some more Roaches in, but I mean, 3 bases of production. We'll try a lot of Roaches. Zealots in the back doing what they can. Timer going down as well. The Immortals untouched so far. But I like to see maybe a flood of Lings here, potentially, instead of the Roaches. But the Roaches, never mind. It's enough to really push back. Will the Mothership Core go down as well to these Queens? Will they get it? Yes, it will. And, yeah, there's your GG. And,
Yeah.
well, the attack didn't work. And, well, all in, followed by all in. And when those both don't work, I mean, you don't really have much of an option. That third base is still alive. And Jonah just... that Roach Ling combination with some Queen backup, it's really served him well and won him a multiple games here and helped him defend against these pushes from Protoss. And he's going to move on and have that veto power as far as the seeding is concerned. People were not here when I explained that before. The winners of each of this series combined with and also the next two get to veto 2 players they don't have to face. And it looks like we're actually going to restart the stream really quickly to deal with some frame drops potentially, and maybe see if we can actually fix it. Next up will be Hearthstone versus This Game Suck. So they will play maybe 1 or 2 best of 3 series, depending on who wins the first one. And yeah, so we'll see you after we come back here in a second.